From brassing off sponsors with one unfortunately timed and rather intense slice of action, to certain wrestlers not knowing when to keep their trap shut in front of a live mic. These are those AEW moments that provided more than a few All Elite headaches. Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are the 10 most shocking AEW controversies. Number 10, Shawn Spears smashes Cody Rhodes' head in with a chair. Hopping all the way back to the first ever Fyter Fest in June 2019, Shawn Spears' first real showing upon officially becoming All Elite earlier that month left much of the wrestling world wincing for all the wrong reasons. A poorly timed shot would eventually lead to the American Nightmare boasting a gnarly cut on the back of his head shortly after. And for all of Rhodes' best yet still a bit questionable intentions of wanting to take chair shots to the head back for the boys, but doing so safely, as he put it, all his and the eventually branded chairman's deeply disturbing chair cock-up proved was that this sort of idiotic piece of crowd popping had no place in the land of All Elite or wrestling as a whole's future. It was all a bit stupid, so let's not do it again. Number 9, Brian Kendrick's controversial past costs him an All Elite debut. There's nothing quite like the level of excitement Tony Khan has found a way to consistently conjure up with the dropping of something as simple as a graphic for an unexpected incoming showing on Dynamite or Rampage. Yeah, that being said, there has been the odd graphic that has ultimately come back to haunt TK and the gang rather rapidly. None more so than the shocking announcement of none other than Brian Kendrick suddenly heading for an edition of Dynamite just a few hours after being released by AEW's biggest rival. Shortly after dropping said intriguing Dynamite graphic that would have seen Jon Moxley collide with then-rival Bryan Danielson's pal, the AEW president was made aware of some controversial past comments made by Kendrick about everything from the Holocaust to 9/11, and swiftly set about writing what could have been an even messier scenario. And as Khan quickly explained on Twitter before his Wednesday night show, there is no room in AEW for the views expressed by Brian. We think it's best for all that Brian be pulled from tonight's card as we gather more info. Simply put, you can bet TK will be doing a touch more research before booking a new All Elite face going forward. Number 8, Sami Guevara and Eddie Kingston collide backstage. Eddie Kingston reportedly getting a touch heated with Sami Guevara in August set the tone for AEW's most controversial month to date. What a time to be alive, eh? The catalyst for the pair colliding behind the curtain went down during a taping of Rampage, with the Spanish God's fat-shaming words of Kingston being a fat piece of crap, let's say, ultimately rubbing the Mad King up the wrong way. And while you can hardly blame Kingston for taking offense to such a despicable line from within the eventually scrapped promo, the All Elite babyface's actions shortly after, reportedly swinging for Guevara and aggressively telling him "you can't call me fat," was justifiably met with a swift suspension for the beloved star. Again, you'd like to imagine everyone involved will be a little more careful when it comes to dropping controversial mic bombs on one another going forward, especially at a time when the disgusting act of wrestler body shaming is in the headlines enough as it is. And news of the rival pair eventually shaking hands and making up later down the road was refreshing to say the least. Number 7, Domino's Pizza aren't best pleased with one particular All Elite slice. When you decide to unleash the absolutely brutal savagery of Nick effing Gage onto your midweek bout of wrestling programming, a truly horrific act of chilling violence was always never going to be too far away, was it? And sure enough, in the midst of the GCW Icon's All Elite debut opposite Chris Jericho in his beloved deathmatch environment, Gage opted to take a pizza cutter to Le Champion's skull just as the 2021 Fight for the Fallen showdown headed to commercial. Unfortunately for Tony Khan's promotion though, said incoming advertisement was for none other than Domino's Pizza, leading to the well-known fast food chain reportedly reconsidering whether to air their ads during the brutal slice of wrestling entertainment, in the wake of most fans finding the whole scenario pretty darn hilarious. As the king of the deathmatch himself would also reveal to Rewind, Recap, Relive, Tony Khan was less than impressed by the unexpected turn of events, even going as far as to tell his locker room, "Man, don't you guys say anything about Domino's or anything like that," as Gage put it. And you can't exactly blame him, can you? Number 6, Max Caster's rap goes too far. Max Caster's close to the bone pre-match raps have become one of the most exciting parts of the all-round AEW presentation, it must be said. However, a star this determined to make headlines with his jaw-dropping rhymes was always destined to take things a bit too far at one point, and a particularly controversial set of lyrics involving insensitive lines such as "make you claim mental health like Simone Biles" just so happened to go down on an August 2021 edition of Dark. Quickly acting on the shocking mic drop, AEW would edit out the rap in its entirety, Caster was then put on ice in the immediate aftermath of the dreadful rap, with the Acclaimed star now having to run his incoming musical bombshells by his boss before unleashing them on an unsuspecting AEW audience. But the fact that the original controversial moment ever made it to YouTube in the first place soon forced Khan to take up Dark's editing responsibilities for the foreseeable. Number 5. Matt Hardy keeps fighting for way too long. Despite the AEW president later going on to reveal that Matt Hardy had been given the all clear in the wake of a sickening concrete whack to the head upon taking a bump off a scissor lift, the sight of the Hardy boy clearly being out of it and the match seemingly being called off led many to believe that Hardy was in no condition to continue at all. Now sure, Hardy eventually passing the promotion's concussion protocol on the night proved that Matt was just about fit to proceed, but many watching on were left deeply disturbed by the decision to keep the Sami Guevara grudge match going after such a potentially serious bump. And regardless of Matt being technically cleared to carry on, Khan should have likely pulled the plug on this unsettling occurrence the second Hardy had clearly been KO'd mid-match. Number 4. Cody Rhodes kisses goodbye to the dream. Of all those AEW folks fans ever expected to see rock up on WWE programming, very few understandably had one of the company's EVPs and Golden Shovel wielder strutting out to the mother of all pops at WrestleMania 38 on their lists. Yet news breaking of Cody Rhodes eventually working for the promotion he helped bring into existence without a damn contract earlier this year quickly led to speculation that all may not be completely well for the American nightmare within the land of All Elite. Sure enough, by February, both Cody and Brandy Rhodes were All Elite no more, with numerous theories inevitably trickling onto the internet as to why the former TNT champion would happily choose to part ways with the revolution that was AEW. And while Cody would confess to having nothing but respect for his one-time fellow EVPs and Tony Khan, this high-profile controversial exit and Rhodes' presentation since parting ways with AEW has likely done more damage than TK would ever likely admit. Number 3. Thunder Rosa clashes with her challengers behind the curtain. On the back of picking up the AEW Women's World Championship in a thrilling steel cage showdown with Britt Baker at St. Patrick's Day Slam, Thunder Rosa has found herself being accused of sandbagging opponents, repeatedly clashing with former champ Britt Baker, and even, according to Voices of Wrestling's Joe Lanza, hiding in a bathroom after breaking Jamie Hayter's nose in a match. So it's no surprise Tony Khan has found himself resorting to more and more backstage team meetings before incoming editions of Dynamite as of late. It remains to be seen what direction the promotion will go in when it comes to their stuttering women's division upon Rosa's eventual return from injury. But Khan would likely be wise to keep the likes of Mera, Baker, and Hayter as far away from one another as humanly possible. Number 2. MJF walks out on Double or Nothing weekend. Tony Khan may have found a way to take what was looking like one of the biggest crap shows in AEW history and turn it into one of the hottest angles the promotion had at its disposal. You know, before the final entry just spoiled everything. But MJF's no-showing of a Double or Nothing weekend FanFest event definitely wasn't a part of the All Elite plan from the get-go, utterly pissing all over his long-awaited showdown with one-time bodyguard Wardlow at the pay-per-view. Whether MJF would even show up at all stole just about every headline heading into the Vegas show. Sure, by the time Maxwell decided to drop his own iteration of the pipe bomb on the Dynamite that followed, there's every chance the Salt of the Earth was back on decent terms with his employer, or at the very least happy to stick around until the bidding war of 2024. But there is no questioning the fact that these sort of controversial line-blurring antics definitely pissed off a number of figures in the AEW locker room, with some even going as far as to class it as a sloppy work that in the long run will benefit nobody, according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And he tends to know his stuff, doesn't he? Number 1. CM Punk sets fire to the company and fights the Elite. In the same year that has boasted the aforementioned Cody Rhodes defection, MJF seemingly walking out on the company before eventually returning, and Vince McMahon departing their biggest rival, all of that has been entirely eclipsed by a frustrated Punk eating sweet treats in a post-all-out press conference. What a time to be alive. 1 year on from the event that played host to his triumphant in-ring return, the best in the world decided to let loose a reportedly pre-planned rant at everyone from Colt Cabana to Hangman Page to the EVPs known as the Elite. And if a tortured Tony Khan watching on while his beloved top star and new AEW World Champion set fire to his company in front of his very eyes wasn't enough, Punk and his pal Ace Steel then opted to get into a scrap with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega backstage. At time of recording, all of said stars had been suspended and had their newly won belts vacated, with an injured Punk's All Elite future in particular being in doubt after such a high-profile blasting of those helping run and currently performing within the company. What a difference 12 months makes, eh? And that's our list. Know of any other AEW shocking controversies that we may have missed on this list? Let us know all about them in the comments section right down below, and do not forget to go down and like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're there. Also, if you like this kind of thing, then head on over to whatculture.com and find some more awesome videos and articles and loads of good stuff just like this, because it's awesome. You need to go there and you're gonna have the time of your life, I promise. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you as always for clicking on this lovely video today. Hopefully I'll see you very, very soon, but in the meantime, be good to yourself. Bye bye.